Hi grade ones, we're going to read more of Ghost Town at Sundown. We left off where Jack and Annie met Slim, the cowboy, who was looking for his horses because the horse thieves got him. And so Annie was quite brave and got on that colt. I forget the colt's name. Sunset. So Annie was riding Sunset and Jack got on the back of Slim's horse and they are going to see if they can find those horse thieves. So chapter 6 is called Split the Wind. The sky was dark by the time they got to the rise. The wind was cool, almost cold. Dusty slowed to a halt. "They're camped down there," Slim said in a low voice, "in the patch of trees." Jack saw a campfire at the bottom of the slope. He saw the horses gathered in a dark clump. One let out a whinny. "Hear that?" said Slim. "The mare. She senses Sunset is nearby." The mare whinnied again. "Sounds like she's tied to a tree," said Slim. "I think the rest of the herd are loose." "What's your plan?" whispered Jack. "Smiley, you stay here and guard Sunset," said Slim. "Right," said Annie. "Shorty, you and I ride down near their camp," said Slim. "You keep Dusty quiet while I cut the mare loose." "How do you keep a horse quiet?" wondered Jack. "Once the mare's loose, she'll break for Sunset," said Slim. "Then you and Sunset take off, Smiley." "Got it," said Annie. "Then we'll split the wind," said Slim. "What's that mean?" wondered Jack. "Till we get to Blue Canyon," said Slim. "Where's that?" wondered Jack. "All set. Any questions?" asked Slim. "Nope," said Annie cheerfully. Yup, about 1,000,000, thought Jack. "Okay, partners," said Slim. "See you soon, Smiley. Come on, Shorty." "Have fun," said Annie. "Fun," thought Jack. "Is she nuts? Our lives are at stake." Slim snapped his reins. Dusty started down the rise. Their way was lit by a nearly full moon and 1,000,000 stars. "Maybe now I can ask Slim some questions," thought Jack. But just then voices came up from the rustlers' camp. They were mean voices, followed by mean laughter. A chill went through Jack. Dusty halted. "This is far enough," whispered Slim. He slipped off Dusty. "Keep him here," Slim whispered to Jack, "and keep him quiet." "Wait," whispered Jack. He needed more information, but Slim was gone. Jack gripped the reins and held his breath. He hoped Dusty wouldn't do anything. For a moment, Dusty was still. Then he snorted and began walking. "Oh no," thought Jack. He tried to think of the rules on how to treat a horse. He remembered soft hand, firm voice. He patted Dusty softly. "Whoa," he said firmly. To his surprise, Dusty froze and was quiet. Jack remembered another rule, a sunny attitude. He patted Dusty again. "Don't worry," he whispered. "Everything's going to be fine." Just then, a loud whinny came from the herd of mustangs. They began moving up the moonlit slope. "Hey, the horses!" the rustler shouted. A gun went off, and Jack ducked. "Come on, Shorty," came Slim's voice. Jack looked up. Slim was riding the mare. Jack was shocked. He had thought that Slim was coming back to ride Dusty. Instead, Slim rode right past him. And as he got close to Annie, she took off on Sunset. The mare galloped after Sunset, and the band of mustangs galloped after the mare. Bang, bang! I'll show you. You can kind of see the picture here. See Slim and Annie in the front. Jack is here, and then the rustlers are all back here. Try to move my fingers. Yikes. Jack snapped the reins. "Go, Dusty," he said. Dusty leapt after the mustangs. Jack nearly fell off. He clutched the reins in one hand and the saddle horn in the other. Bang, bang! The rustlers were on their horses now. They were getting closer. "Hurry!" cried Jack. Dusty cleared the rise in an awkward leap. Jack started to slip off the saddle. He let go of the reins and tried to hold on to the saddle horn, but his weight pulled him down. He closed his eyes as he fell to the ground. Bang, bang! "Oh man," thought Jack, "this is the end." He opened his eyes. Dusty was looking at him. Jack scrambled up and tried to climb back into the saddle. It was hard without Slim's help. As Jack struggled, he heard shouts from the rustlers. Their horses gave high-pitched neighs. Jack looked back. A shimmering white figure was moving across the top of the rise. The rustlers' horses were panicking and backing away. Jack didn't have time to think about what he was seeing. He knew it might be his only chance to escape. Using all his strength, he pulled himself into the saddle. "Go, Dusty, go!" he shouted. Dusty took off at a full gallop over the prairie, and Jack held on for dear life as they split the wind. I wonder what that shimmering white figure was. Should I read the next chapter? Should I? I'm going to. We'll read chapter 7, and then we will stop after chapter 7. Jack bounced in the saddle. He felt the cool night wind against his face. He couldn't tell where they were going. He trusted Dusty to follow the others. Finally, Dusty caught up with the herd as it began to slow down. Jack snapped at his reins. Dusty came beside Slim and Andy. "Howdy," said Slim. "Howdy," said Jack. "Howdy," said Annie. "Are you okay?" Jack pushed his glasses into place. "Yep," he said. "You?" "Yep," she said. "That was some good riding, Shorty," said Slim. "Thanks," said Jack, smiling. He even liked being called Shorty now. "Where are we headed, boss?" Jack asked Slim. "Blue Canyon," said Slim. "Okay with you?" "Yep," said Jack. "This way," said Slim. He slapped his horse, and they all speeded up again. Slim steered the herd to the left. Soon he led them through a deep, narrow pass. Finally, they came to a boxy space surrounded by walls of rock and lit by moonlight. "We'll corral the Mustangs here in Blue Canyon," Slim said. He got off his horse. He helped Jack down. Annie slipped off Sunset. "Take him to his ma," Slim told Annie. Annie led Sunset to the mare. In the moonlight, the two Mustangs rubbed against one another and neighed. As Jack patted Dusty's damp neck, he remembered the last two rules, praise and reward. "Thanks," he whispered to Dusty. "You were great. You were super great." Slim unsaddled Dusty and then handed Jack his saddlebags. "Take those over to the grassy spot. We'll camp there," he said. As Jack carried the saddlebags, his boots felt stiff and tight. His legs were sore and wobbly, but he didn't mind. He threw down the saddlebags and his backpack. Then he flopped himself down. He was very tired. Annie joined him. "They seem so happy to be free and together again," she said, gazing off at the moonlit Mustangs. "Yeah," said Jack. He laid back, using his backpack as a pillow, and he looked up at the stars. If we just answer the riddle, everything would be perfect," he said. "Yeah," said Annie. "Hey, Slim," he called. "I have a question for you." "Yeah," said Slim. "Do you know the answer to this riddle?" Jack asked. "Out of the blue, my lonely voice calls out to you. Who am I? Am I?" Slim was silent for a moment and then said, "Sorry, Shorty. Don't know that one." Jack's heart sank. "That's okay," he said. "We don't either." "I have a question too," said Annie. "Why does the piano in the hotel play by itself?" "I do know the answer to that one," said Slim. And there's a picture here. We have Jack and Annie, and then Shorty playing a harmonica. Not Shorty, Slim. "What is it?" said Annie. "It's Lonesome Luke," said Slim. "He's a ghost of a cowboy who wanders the prairie." Jack sat straight up. I saw him, he said. "I just remembered. He scared the rustlers. If he hadn't come, I would have never gotten away." "Oh yeah?" Slim chuckled. "Well, lucky for us, Lonesome Luke sometimes likes to help folks out." Slim threw his saddle down next to Jack, and Annie sat against it. "Years ago, Lonesome Luke had a gal who he was just crazy about," said Slim. "She couldn't take the Wild West, though, so she went back east." "What happened then?" said Jack. "Luke went loco. Every night he'd show up at the hotel and play the piano. He played Red River Valley over and over. Then one night he just vanished onto the prairie, and he was never seen alive again. His bones were found a year later, but folks say his ghost returns to the hotel piano to play Red River Valley. And so it goes like this." Slim took out a harmonica and he began to play a song. It was the same sad song Jack and Annie had heard at the hotel. Jack lay back down and listened to the lonesome tune. A coyote howled in the distance, and the horses stirred in the dark. "I better take some notes," thought Jack. But he didn't write a word before he fell asleep. He didn't even take off his boots. And that's the end of chapter 7. So we're going to write today, and I was thinking about this. So I don't know if you've kind of noticed, Jack and Annie have two very different personalities. So Annie seems to be like really good at jumping on adventures and like moves without thinking all the time. She's just like, yeah, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna ride the horse. She seems like a natural at things and like really jumps for it in adventure. Whereas Jack seems a little bit more hesitant. He likes to research things and think about things before he does them. And he seems a little bit like he gets nervous sometimes. But I would also say Jack seems quite brave because he will do things he's scared of, and then he does them well, just like when he rode Dusty. He was kind of scared and timid, but he did it, and then after felt really proud. So For writing today, I want you to think about who you are most like. Are you more like Annie? You jump into things, you're ready for adventure, you are confident and all that, like those kind of things. Are you more like Annie, or are you more like Jack? So one sentence would be who you are more like, and then tell me why. So for me, I would write this because I, Miss McDonald, personally am like Jack. Okay? So that would be my first sentence. I am like Jack. Okay? Actually, I'm not going to put a period there. I am like Jack because I always like to think things through before I do them. So I think I'm more like Jack. I always think... Sorry, now you're just watching me write things through. Okay, remember when you're writing, you don't need to get every single word spelled right in grade 1. What you need to have spelled right are your sight words, and then you punch out bigger words. Okay, so like the word I am like. Those are all sight words. Those should all be spelled right because, okay, things like always. If I'm punching out always, where's my other whiteboard? Okay, so I might hear the sound all, and that's a sight word I know. So I might spell all, then I hear w, then I hear a. Okay, so then I maybe think of like Helga the Hippo poster. Always. Then I'll add a S on the end. Okay, and so this spelling is just as good as this spelling. Always does just have one L in it, but if you're writing it with 2, because that's what you hear, in grade 1, that's okay. Alright, this video is going a little bit long, but I'm just going to say it one more time. Writing today, are you more like Annie, or are you more like Jack? I am like Jack because, I am like Annie because. I hope you enjoy it, and I'm looking forward to hearing who you are more like.